So here's why I think the 70.3 distance is the best distance for triathletes who have families. I have a family, and the past couple of years, I've done two 70.3s each year. And the reason why I think this is the best distance is not only is it still challenging, you feel like when you cross that finish line, you feel amazing that you've accomplished a huge goal, but it's also challenging enough that if you've been a triathlete for years, you still feel like you have to train for this race. I'm Coach Steph, and I'm a triathlon coach, but I'm also a doctor of physical therapy. I still work almost full time in the clinic, and I specialize in helping triathletes who have either been injured in the past or coming back from an injury get back into race ready shape. If you're new to the sport or you're struggling to figure out how to find time for everything while keeping a good balance with your family, making everyone happy, including yourself, I have 4 tips for you here. Number 1 is reviewing over equipment that will be really helpful for you. The number 1 thing I recommend is getting a smart trainer, something that you can set up your own bike in your own home. So that way you can fit in rides maybe in the early morning, or maybe if your baby is napping. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. Number 2 is if you have young kids, maybe 5 and younger, invest in a really good jogging stroller. That way you can bring the kids along with you when you go for your runs, and you can get a good challenging workout in. Sometimes I like to do hill repeats with the jogging stroller, and I'll tell you what, that is one of the hardest workouts I've ever done. I would invest in some dumbbells, resistance bands, some things that you can do at home for injury prevention and performance improvement, to work on some strength training, maybe 20 to 30 minutes here and there. Something that you can actually do at home while your kids are watching TV, playing with their games. Like, you can be in the same room as them while baby's napping. And sometimes they might find it fun to actually do the activity with you. 2 is childcare or having a supportive partner. I've known athletes that do really well going to the YMCA or a gym that has a kids program. That way they can get their swim in while their kid is in the kids program. Or like what I do, my husband will stay at home, maybe get a workout in at home while our daughter is still sleeping. And I go to an early morning master's swim program to get my 1 hour or so swimming in. To get out on the road for long rides, that is something that you're going to have to discuss with either your partner or find childcare for. But the good news is that you don't have to get out on the road every single week. I do recommend that you get out at least 2 times a month, especially leading up to your big race. The same thing with running. If you do have access to a treadmill in your own home, that's a lot easier, like the bike trainer, to do while your baby's sleeping, while your kids are playing, have them kind of in the same area. But if you do have to do all your runs outside, which I actually prefer doing, you want to either bring the jogging stroller with you or find some childcare or someone to watch your kid while you can get out there and run with either a friend or by yourself. Number 3 is learning to embrace the early morning workout. I've been a triathlete since my teenage years. I've always tried to get workouts in the morning. That way I can double up and do a second one in the afternoon. But now that I'm a mom, now that I work full time, and I just want to spend more time with my family, I embrace the early morning workouts. That way I can get it all done while everyone is still kind of sleeping, or if they wake up, they can just kind of hang out, get moving a little bit. We can enjoy the rest of the day together, especially weekend days. And number 4 is finding the time for those long brick workouts, the long bike to run workouts, the long runs. Now, something that I like to do is I get up in the early morning on Friday mornings with a local group in my neighborhood, and I'll host like a 6-mile run with everyone together, but I'll get up even earlier and go a little bit beforehand so I can get my 8 to 10-mile run in for my long run. Now, that's on a Friday, so that way I don't have to compromise a weekend day. I like to take one weekend day completely off of training so I can spend a lot of time with my family and not feel like I'm having to rush around. Another thing that you can do is rotate weeks for when you're doing your long rides. So you don't have to do a long ride every single week leading up to your race. Is it beneficial? Yes, of course. But there are ways to kind of get around it. So let's say you do one weekend, you do your really long ride, 3 hours or so, like you've got your childcare, you have your partner supporting you, your spouse, your grandparents, and you take that weekend morning and you just get that one workout in. The next weekend, you take a break from doing such a long workout. You can still get in a shorter workout that weekend morning. And then the weekend after that, just know that that's your time to do it again. The long run is a little bit easier to fit in, especially for a half Ironman distance. Your longest run, you really don't have to get past 10 or 11 miles peaking and leading up to that race. And for most people, that's going to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And the runs can be shorter than that leading up to that. So it's a little bit easier to find time for that long run, especially if you can get up early in the morning and just get it out of the way. I am a triathlon coach and I work on one-on-one coaching with athletes of all levels. So if you're trying to figure out how to train for a half Ironman while also making time for your family and working full time, I've been there before, and I've trained many athletes to do the same.